Welcome to Contractor Cuts, where we cover the good, the bad, and the ugly of growing a successful contracting company.
Welcome to Contractor Cuts. My name is Clark Turner.
I'm Jared Flo.
Thank you for joining us again. So today we are diving deep into how to transition step by step from being the laborer on site, swinging a hammer, all the way up to being a general contractor that's running crews, that's doing multiple jobs, and you're not breaking your back anymore on the job site.
Yeah, it seems simple.
Yeah.
But there's a bunch of stumbling blocks that we watch guys stumble over and over. And there are some key things that you just need to know and know what to focus on and what to watch out for to be able to make these transitions successfully.
This is the hardest transition in construction.
Yeah.
I mean, it's two totally different companies when I am out there installing sheetrock, running electrical, whatever I'm doing. A lot of guys are quote unquote general contractors, but they're out there swinging the hammer, doing the work themselves,
Yeah.
and then bringing in some trades to go around them.
Yeah.
What we're trying to push guys into is a multi-level company that they can tier up and grow and duplicate themselves. So it's a difference of, I'm a GC maybe doing labor or just a laborer doing labor, but we want to get you to a spot where you're a project manager, where you are doing the direct management of the job is your job, and managing the labor is your job, but you are not in charge of doing the labor.
And there's a ton of guys that we talk to that this is their goal.
Yeah.
You know, I'm tired of laying tile. My knees hurt, my back hurts. Like I can't keep going like this, but I've still got the drive to do this business.
Yep.
I just can't figure out how to stop painting walls myself or laying tile myself. How do I make that transition? And then they try and make it and they end up back in the same spot again.
Yeah.
And it's, this is the stereotypical hamster wheel, right? Where people just they're stuck in this spot and they can't figure out how to get over the top. Right. And there's a couple big pieces of it. One is plain and simple, the monetary transition of like where the money is going and how much we were making and how much it cost to make this move.
Yeah, we're going to cover a lot of information about the numbers of what you have to do to actually financially make this work. And that's where guys get stuck is like, I don't know, I'm just going to do it this way.
I'm just going to stop doing this.
And if you think about it, and we're about to break this down, but there's really three areas or three different directions that money on a job site that a client pays you goes, right? You've got your labor cost, your material cost, and the profit from managing the job, right? Those are the three different sections. And so as we're working through this, you have to understand what you're aiming for in each of those, and then what is your money that you put in your pocket, and how do we build that? So
and something to know as we're going through that is actually the percentage of those numbers. Yeah. It's important to know that kind of mathematical equation so that you can understand where we're going to go with these levels. So the first to talk about that specifically, if I'm shooting to make 33% profit, right, which is a standard, it's a good number to be at that, you can survive as a company making that number. So if I'm shooting for 33, that means that 46% of the total money that's coming into me is going to my labor, the people that are executing the work, whether that's me or somebody else. About 46% of that goes to labor, and 21%, a roundabout number, 21% of that is what your materials is.
So, and we get these numbers because we've had a construction company for 17, 18 years.
Yeah.
And so we can run the numbers and look at it for us. These are kind of what we're aiming for. For a renovation company, 33% profit. Some guys are getting 40, some guys are getting 45. If you're doing specific trades, sometimes you're at 50 to 60%. If I'm HVAC or I'm running just doing fence and deck or I'm doing other things, you can get a little higher profitability.
But if you're running a multi-trade job, this is the target.
That's what we coach guys on. So
and when we bring in project managers, we spell this out to them so that they can understand this. But the reality is that this is roundabout. This is what we're shooting for. Sometimes your labor is going to be 49%. Sometimes your material is going to be 30%. It all varies, but this is where we're, when we're coaching and training our project managers and as well as our partners in Alliance, this is the numbers that we push to them. It's like, this is the target of where you want to be.
And there is a long, we could talk for 5 days straight on how to get to what profit percentage you need. And the long and the short of it is what are you considering? What's coming out of overhead and the profit, and what is cost of goods on the job site?
Yeah.
Right. We're at 33%, but that doesn't include our project manager's pay. That's a part of the overhead. Or 33% is our gross profit.
That's right. It doesn't include our office expenses, our electrical, our gas, or any of the trucks, any of that type of stuff. That's your overhead, which is different.
So that's a variable that you've got to work out. So when guys are on the internet arguing about profit percentage, it doesn't matter. Profit of what? Like what are you talking about? Yeah. So that's a variable. The other big variable is size of job, right? If I'm doing a $5,000 just kind of a lipstick job on a property that needs help, I can't do it for 30%.
Right.
I need to be making 45% on something that's small, because the front end set up for the first week, the final walk through and punch and go back work, and then the management in the middle. You have the same amount of jobs on a $5,000 job, same amount of visits to the job site on a $5,000 job as you do on a $20,000 job.
Yeah, my management execution cost is the same whether it's a 5-day job or a 50-day job, right? It's spread out more on a 50-day job. On a 5-day job, I can't 30%, 33% is not enough. I got to bump that up to cover my costs.
Yeah, so on a $5,000 job, we're at 45%. On a $280,000 job, we're probably closer 20 to 25%, somewhere in there. Yeah. And again, it's a scale of what the variables of what's being done on the job, right? If I'm only doing a roof, a new HVAC system, and countertops, all three of those, I can't mark up 33% because they can go and call and get those numbers themselves. So, and management isn't a lot. I call my roofer, he gives me a price, he's out there for a day and a half, gets the roof done, and I go and collect. I don't need 30% of a $10,000. I don't need $3,000 to call a roofer and then go walk in and collect the money. Right. And so we do a lot of training with our project managers, as well as when you come in office, we do a lot of our one-day event, our fast track event. We talk through a lot of this, but we're not going to cover that today. All we're covering today.
We do enjoy talking about it because we talk about those things all the time.
And guys get so confused with this, and they say, okay, 33% great, I'm going to just put that down for everything. Well, that's not how it is. There's so many variables you got to go into. So with that being said, our standard numbers that we as a renovation company doing standard renovations for properties, kitchen, baths, basements, exteriors, that sort of thing, we are looking for what Jared said, 21% on the materials costs. We're going to be at 46% for labor and 33% profit.
Yeah.
And with those numbers, let's go through how you go from a subcontractor labor on a job site to a full general contractor managing projects, not swinging the hammer.
Yeah.
So in that transition, we've kind of identified 3 different positions that you have. You have the client acquisition and project manager. That's what we're saying makes the 33%.
Right.
The lead labor is making 46%. Now that guy can bring help.
One guy, 2 guys, 10 guys, whatever he needs.
And we've talked a lot, and we've had other videos talking about you don't hire hourly, you don't hire daily. If you're a laborer on a job site and you're bringing help, those are the only guys that should be hourly or daily.
Right.
Those are the guys that are with you in your company, and they're assisting you, and you're there managing their time. And their effectiveness is only as good as you are teaching them on the job site.
Right.
So those are the only hourly guys that we want, and that is if you are a laborer, a labor lead that is receiving a work order or a bid from a general contractor or and someone else is managing the job.
Yeah.
Right. And so with that, you're getting paid 46% of whatever's being invoiced. Yeah. And so that's your pay for being the labor on the job.
$10,000 job that the GC is running.
Yep.
You're going to get $4,600 that you get to bring home and distribute between your guys however you see fit.
Yep. Whether you're doing it by yourself or bringing 3 guys with you, that's how much you should be taking of the job.
Yeah.
So when you say, well, I do this job for 10, sure, we are doing it for 10, but I'm paying for the materials, and I'm going to manage it. I'm going to do the estimate, I'm going to do the collections, and I'm going to do. You're going to show up and do the labor for 4 days, where I'm going to spend 12 days because I've got before and after collections, meeting with inspectors, all that sort of thing. So the breakdown is the first level when you're a subcontractor, you are just the labor. You're getting that 46%.
Yeah.
Next, and a lot of guys even start at the next level up, which is you are a direct client project manager as well as labor. right? So those are the guys I'm going to go out, I'm going to GC this job, but I'm actually doing most of the carpentry work, or I'm doing most of the handyman work. I'm going to do the framing. I'm going to bring my guys in for insulation, but then I'm going to put the sheetrock up, and I'll have my finishers come in. So I'm on job every single day, and this is probably 75% of contractors that we meet are in this category 2, right? And so I am bidding the job. I'm talking with the client. I'm negotiating over the estimate. I'm going to buy the materials, and then I'm swinging the hammer. I'm framing. I'm demoing. I'm doing that stuff.
You're responsible for every aspect of the job, top to bottom.
Yep. So I am the project manager, client acquisition person, as well as lead labor.
And I think in my brain, the two major transitions that happen here is one, you know, if you started as just a sub working for somebody else, right, working for the GC or whatever, that move up to where now you're the guy that's in charge of everything. You're in charge of the experience of the job for the client now, not just the execution of labor and whatever, but the customer service, the communication, the front end, landing and sale of the job, the collections on the back end. You're in charge of all of that stuff. So you kind of got to step your game up of how you interact with people, how you communicate, the way that you present yourself and the way that you look. You can't show up in your Sherwin-Williams whites. Right, you gotta come in and be a little bit more presentable to be able to land the job and have that customer trust you with the total experience of the job. So those are the two major ones. Is that you're upgrading kind of who you are and what you're doing, and the second thing is you're in charge of everything, top to bottom.
And most people coming into Alliance that partner with us for the growth aspect of what we do, those people are in this category and they're really good because they're natural sales guys, people that can really sell what they're doing. People trust them. I like this guy. He's really good. And so they're I've got work for the next 18 months. Great. But you've hit your ceiling, right? Yeah, because I can only be in so many jobs at once. I can only be in so many places at once. And so they're like, well, I'm ready to hire someone. How do I grow to that level? You're not ready to hire someone at that point, because what you are selling your client, the product that you're selling your client in this position, is you and your brain.
That's right.
Right? I am great at talking with people. I'm great at framing walls. I'm great at doing, maybe I'm a carpenter and I'm great at doing trim, whatever it is. That is what they're buying. They're buying the experience of you. They're buying how good you are at communicating, how kind you are, all of that stuff. And you're in their house every day. So you were talking to them when you get there, you're talking when they're leaving, and there's no need to regulate how I communicate, when I communicate, why I communicate, how do I need to get paid, right? There's no conversation of I need invoices on Friday and I need payment by Monday. If I don't, then X, Y, and Z happens. That's not needed, because I'm standing on site with you saying, all right, Jared, it looks like we need to order those French doors. Can I get some cash for that? And you're like, great. Pull out your checkbook, give me a check. You give me the money, and we're standing there, and that just naturally happens because I'm a good manager of my job, and I'm there every single day doing the labor.
Yeah, well, and a big piece of that is you're spending your money. Every time that you're not efficient, you're wasting your money. Every time that you go, 7 times to Home Depot, you've wasted your time and you've wasted your Home Depot, your money, right? And so the way that the job operates is more efficient, and in your brain, the way that people just should operate. Well, you operate that way because it's your cash, right? So your cash is your accountability. The other thing about this specific level, I don't know the exact number, but I would be willing to say that probably close to 50% of contractors in the U.S. are in this spot, right? And there's one big main reason, but in this spot, you're making a ton of money in this spot. And it's easy. I'm in there. I'm making good money. I'm in control of the job. The clients like me. They're happy. It takes up a lot of my time. I'm on site. I'm running 80-hour weeks. But I think a lot of guys get stuck in this space for a couple of different reasons. I think there's a comfortability of being in the spot because there's nothing out of your control, or at least there's minimal things out of your control. But the big one is that not only because you're in charge of the job are you making that 33% if you're hitting your numbers, you're also doing the labor. So you're making the 33% plus the 46%, what is that, 79%,
Yep.
right? So 70 of a $10,000 job, you're bringing home $7,900.
Yep.
Right? Now, you've got to pay off some of your guys that were working for you and whatever, but you're still making a ton of cash.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's an easy spot. I'm in 100% control. There's limited things that are outside of my control, and I'm stacking cash in this spot.
Yep.
But there is a limit to how long you can be in that position because everything revolves around you.
Yeah. You're
right?
exchanging your time for money, and the better you get, the more efficient you get, and the more jobs you can say yes to because I can get in and out quickly. I know how to do this. I'm organized, but it's all about you.
Yeah.
Right. And so you're stuck in this system to where it's, we've had guys like, I'm going to grow this and sell it. Well,
so
if
what?
you're leaving,
so what?
What's left?
Uh-huh.
Well, all my clients. Well, your clients are here for you, not for your company name. Mm-hmm. They're here because they like you.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's this. This is where we find the guys that we had one company come in with us, and the founder was this guy. And he was mid-60s, late 60s, mid-60s probably. Mm-hmm. And he just didn't understand, like he just wanted to stay here. And he had project managers, he'd grown, but he was on every job site.
Yeah, he was a grinder.
Grinding himself into the ground. And we sat down with him and said, listen, because he wasn't the only owner. He brought in some partners, but we said, you can't do this. Like you have a different company than it was 10 years ago. And 10 years ago, you were the company. Now we're transitioning this company to be an independent company that people are wanting that product that company is selling. Not you, but the company's product. And so he said, but I love getting my hands dirty and being on site. We said, great. We ended up retiring him out of the company, bringing in another GM, and we let him go off and do new builds, one house at a time, right? Go do your own thing. You can be on site. You're going to get a paycheck as owner in this company, but you're going to go do new builds now, right? Yep. And so that guy goes and does what he enjoys because he's good at that. Mm-hmm. But he wasn't good at business. He wasn't good at growth. He wasn't good at duplicating. He wasn't good at leading other guys. He wasn't good at the stuff that's needed for the bigger product that you're going to start selling, which is a company that functions without you.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's where people get stuck in this of, I'm a grinder. I'm good at what I do, and people like me.
Yeah. Well, one last thing that I'd like to say about this specific level is something that I guess I would call opportunity failure.
Yep.
Right? Because you get into this spot, right?
Yep.
And you're good at it, and you start gaining a reputation, which that reputation means that you're getting a bunch of natural leads.
Yep. And
the thing that most people really suck at in this position is saying no or not yet.
Yep.
And they just say yes because they're like, dude, opportunity. Like this is what I've been dreaming of is happening.
Yeah.
More and more and more, and you get over your skis. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, one job goes south. And you've taken on more than you can handle. You don't have enough cash flow to handle everything, and it just starts snowballing out of control. Yeah. And that's where guys get to the spot where they do things where they sacrifice reputation for the cash because they have to.
Yeah.
And they it just fizzles out because what they were wanting to do is level up.
Yep.
Right? And that what felt like leveling up is taking on more work.
Yeah.
But your capacity only goes so far, and eventually you get to the capacity, you can stretch it to this really, really far place because I'm just gonna grind.
Yeah.
If nothing goes wrong. But if something goes wrong, which everybody listening to this podcast knows, something always goes wrong, right? But you run this optimism, dude. If I can nail these 3 jobs right now, I'm going to be $100,000 positive cash. This is going to be incredible. I've never been in that position. You get over your skis, and then getting out of that position is really, really difficult.
Yeah. Well, and we have a org chart that we walk every new partner that we bring on through. And in that org chart, where we're talking about is the transition from one type of company, which is you selling you and your labor, to another type of company, which is you creating a product in a company that people want to buy and you can deliver. And it feels, what's the difference? There is a huge difference because once this transition happens, from here until eternity, that is the new product that can only grow. So in the first product where you're selling you, there is a limit on your time, and you can only be in so many places. and you go to the next step where it's like, well, I'm just going to manage some of these and have these crews run, and I'll just set some labor up on those jobs and do this other do the big job that I'm on.
Yeah.
Right. But the problem is you're selling one type of product masked as the second type of product. And so people think they're getting you, and you think the crew that you left behind is going to be as efficient as you, and that 33% you'll make on that job while you're making the full amount of the profit and the labor on this job turns into 20%, then turns into 10%, then turns into negative 10%.
And then when you see that and you're spinning the plates on the one that you're running, you spin these really, really quick and you run over to this problem job and you're trying to fix it and trying to get it to
and tear out that wall and reframe it.
All of a sudden things starts falling apart on the job you were making a bunch of money. Now you're losing profit everywhere.
And reputation.
Yeah.
Right. And so then it's everyone slides right back into this role where they're going to be on every job site themselves, and I'm just going to be safe here. And then they get some more clients and they want to expand. And
the hamster wheel.
It keeps sliding back. And the big issue of this transition is they aren't willing to put in the work to build a business product that you're going to be selling.
Yeah.
You just want to, you see the job, you see what I can do, and you just start running. And I'm going to sell myself to all these customers. And that doesn't ever work out well. That's not duplicatable because there's only one you.
Yeah.
Right. And so the third transition that we're talking about is moving into solely project manager, general contractor who's the project managing the job. Right. And that's where all of our project managers are. That's
you are not swinging hammers anymore.
Right.
You're not painting fences. You're not doing any of that stuff. You are managing the people that are doing that and providing the product to your client.
And so you're not hiring Clark to paint your house anymore. You're hiring Clark to manage a crew to paint your house. Right. And so where that transition changes is how the client views me and how we talk with the client, how we set up our client engagement agreement. All of that verbiage is different now because what I'm saying is, listen, you're hiring me because I'm the professional and you don't know how to get a new kitchen in your house. I'm going to be your representative on hiring all these guys to get this done.
Yeah.
I've got really good connections. I know the guys. I know the painters. I know the framers. I know the cabinet guys. They all do really good work. If something messes up, I'm in charge and I'm going to handle it. And if the painter doesn't show up, I'm going to bring my other painter in.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's the conversation of my new product that I'm selling is not a new cabinet, a new paint job, a new framing of walls that need to be put up. My new product that I'm selling is I'm managing the whole process for you, right? I'm taking that 33% for me, and then I'm going to hire out the labor guys and buy all the materials with the rest of that money.
Yeah, a smooth experience of the delivering of the product that you want in your house, whether it's a new kitchen, a bathroom, basement, whatever your end goal is. What you're buying from me is I am here to make sure that experience is smooth and easy for you.
Yep, that's right. And so with that being said, though, when where guys get stuck on this is if I'm doing one job, the $10,000 job, and I'm bringing home 76.
Yeah.
Maybe I paid a buddy of mine $2,000 to come with me for a couple weeks while I was doing this job.
Yeah.
I'm making maybe $6,000.
Yeah.
Now I transition to a project manager, and on that job I'm making 33%. So on that $10,000 job, I'm starting at $3,300 of profit. So I'm used to $6,000, and all of a sudden now I'm at $33,000.
Yeah, because I'm paying all of that labor to somebody else.
Yeah, and that $33,000 also starts dwindling because I'm mismanaging. Because remember how I was so efficient with buying materials when I was on the job site? I would buy 10% extra of tile, and then I take the 10% back that I didn't use and get my extra $300 refund because of that.
Yeah.
Well, now I got a crew out there running, and they're like, I'm done with the job. I'm going to throw the rest of that tile in the trash, and I'm on to the next one. So now my profit goes from 33% to 28%. Now the client says, well, I don't like what happened here. I need you to cover that. Yeah. Well, now I'm going from 25 to 20 because I need that final paycheck from the client, right? And so I thought I was project managing making 33%, but now I'm actually making 20%. So I went from making $7,900 on this job as the laborer and manager to $2,000 as the manager, right? Because I'm less efficient now and I can't execute as well without me on the job site.
Right.
And so I can't survive on $2,000. I need that 76 or really the 6,000 because I paid my help, right?
Yeah.
So I need 6,000 to survive this month and I only got 2,000. guys, this doesn't work. I got to go back to swinging the hammer, right? I need that $6,000 for this job. And so the transition that people get stuck in is I need to do 3 times the amount of work to make the same amount of money.
Yeah.
I'm making $2,000 on this job. I need to make $6,000 on one job. I need to go 3 to get up to that $6,000.
I need to run 3 jobs that I make $2,000 a piece on. Yeah.
And people say, well, I can't do that. Well, sure. You can't triple the size of your company overnight.
Yeah.
And so there's a transition process to where you're running 2 different companies. You're on site on one job. You're project managing 1 job, 2 job, 3 job on the side.
Yeah.
And you've got 2 different hats, and you have a line of demarcation. I don't bring my tools to these jobs. I only show up to this one job.
Yeah.
And so the transition happens where I am moving over slowly to build up my
capital,
my client list, my pipeline of new jobs. But to make all of that happen, to get to that spot to where you can start having $6,000 a month from the management of 3 jobs instead of from 1 job of labor.
Yeah.
To get that, I need to build a deliverable product that happens on all 3 of those job sites that duplicates me on each job site.
Whether I'm on that job site all day or not.
So the big transition. I'm on the job 5 days a week. I'm talking to the client every day. We're talking about money. We're talking about change orders. We're having that conversation. I have an efficient way to get materials. This is how I walk the job site in the morning. I make 1 trip to Home Depot. I'm done for the day. Any more purchases, I go tomorrow. Right?
Yeah.
All my efficiencies on my job site when I'm managing and doing labor. I go to just managing. I assume this is how people operate. This is just how I like. You're an idiot if you go to Home Depot 7 times in a day. Why would you do that? Why you're not going to be successful in this? Yeah, they're working for you, and they're
not spending their money. They're spending your money.
Yeah, and so the efficiencies start going away. You start losing money on those jobs, and the clients are like, where'd you go, Clark? What's happening? I haven't heard from you. What's happening? Where are you? Because your normal communication is I talk to you when I see you. Well, now I'm only visiting that job site 2-3 times a week.
Right.
And it's most likely when you're at work.
And if I don't have any systems and processes in place, that means that I can't set the expectations of my client.
Yep.
Right. I think one of the big transitions in this spot is a mindset.
Yeah.
Because it's very easy when you're making this transition and you're only making the $2,000 and you're used to making the $6,000.
Yeah.
The mindset is that $4,000 difference is really your financial investment in the growth of your company.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's very easy for you to say, you know what, I'm just going to go back and I'm going to earn that $6,000 by putting in my own labor.
Yeah.
Right? But if that's your mindset for quick money now, you're always going to be stuck in that.
Yeah.
You have to transition your mindset from, I am not looking for quick money now. I could stop right now and go back on the job site and make that extra $4,000.
Yep.
But instead of that, I'm going to invest that $4,000 into my company because I am building something that can grow past what I can do on my own.
Yep.
That instead of $6,000 that I could earn, once I start growing, it's 12, 15, 24. Right? And so, but you have to make that mindset, because if you don't get in that mindset, when things get difficult, when things go awry, you will go back to your default of putting on your tool belt.
That's right.
And you're just going backwards.
Yep.
Right? And so the investment comes in, like the tangible investment comes in when things go awry. You don't put on your tool belt, you go into management.
Yep.
And you talk to the client and you manage that relationship and the expectations, and then you manage the crew, whether you've got to pull a crew and put a new one on there and pay somebody a little bit more money because they've got to get it right. Mm-hmm. But you're paying and investing that money to keep your reputation and to keep yourself out of putting the tool belt on.
And the problem where guys get stuck in that mindset is not because they don't want it. It's because they can't afford that mindset.
Sure, absolutely.
And they can't afford it because when they were killing it, making 79% on the job going in their pocket.
F-350.
I bought that new truck. Why don't we get an office? What if I hired this person and this person? Hey, we should go to Cancun, babe. Let's do that. Let's take the whole family to Disney and spend $20,000, right? Because I've got that cash. And so I get used to this lifestyle. I'm financing. I got $2,000 a month in auto loans. I've got all sorts of expenses. And now you want me to go down to 1/3 of my paycheck to start rebuilding from there? I can't do that. I need to be taking home $10,000 a month just to survive paycheck to paycheck now because I was doing that previously.
Yeah.
And so the mindset can be there, but I just don't have the funds.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's the long-term picture when I'm starting to grow in this middle ground of saying, hey, I am killing it. I'm going to pay myself like I'm the project manager. I'm going to put it in an account, that 33%, and start building up and stacking cash in an account like I'm a project manager.
Yeah.
And once I get to that spot, I can now take that money and take the next 2 to 3 months and make less money because I'm building up my company and my pipeline of clients that are coming in.
It is a cash investment in your company.
Yeah, for sure.
What I will say is business owners that are listening to this is an important lesson to know because it's not the only time it's going to happen.
Yep.
There have been times in the past of our GC company, we made strategic decisions to grow, and you knew that the byproduct, the consequences of choosing to grow was you were going to invest your paycheck and say, you know what, I'm not going to take a paycheck for the next 3 or 4 months.
Yep.
But there was a plan that we had put into place some of the times, not all the times. Some of the times we didn't.
More recently.
Yeah, that's right.
Of our times.
But this is one of the biggest growth spots for your company. But as your company grows in those transition points, this is the same thing that happens in different forms and formats, but this is what happens. So it's a lesson to learn now.
Yep. So mindset number 1 that has a change is I am investing. I'm going to make less money now so I can set up long-term growth and financial stability.
Yeah.
That's mindset 1. And saying I'm okay with not making what I could because I know by next year I will be locked in. I can go on vacation.
Yeah.
I can go to the beach and things aren't going to fall apart.
Yeah.
Right. That's mindset number 1. The second part of that mindset, the mindset shift, the most important mindset shift is if you come in here and we're coaching you and you say, I say, what happened with that job that went south? I don't know. I gave her the perfect kitchen. Like I did an amazing basement for this family and they gave me a bad review and they're threatening to sue me and da-da-da-da-da-da. Because the mindset of a guy that's doing labor is delivering the product of the renovation, of the kitchen, of the HVAC, right? That's that mindset. I got to get it done. 95% of my job is executing the labor. Right. And so that is what I'm delivering. Why are you upset? And when I'm just doing that, you're not going to be upset because you're going to get good communication because I'm seeing you 2-3 times a day.
Right.
Right. And so the communication's good. As soon as something goes awry for you, I'm standing here and we've got a relationship as my client. And so I can fix it immediately. And then I step away from the job site. And on that spot, they don't see me. They have some issues, but I haven't seen them and they didn't email me, so I have no clue that they're upset with me. They didn't pay me, and now I'm threatening to pull my guys, and they're like, I thought I sent you a check. And all of that stuff starts going haywire on you. And when that happens, you are saying, but the kitchen looks great. Why are you so crazy, right? And so the transition of the mindset of when I am now project managing, I'm a GC that's not doing labor, and I'm in that position. My new mindset is I am all about delivering customer service. The product is in place. I know how to execute it. That's there. But if there's not stellar communication and amazing customer service, that client is not going to refer you to somebody else. They're going to leave you a bad review, and you're going to lose money on the job because you've lost that trust from them.
Well, a big piece of that.
Yeah.
I can't deliver customer service if my guys on site don't have clear understanding of what they're supposed to be doing.
Correct.
Right. And so in this transition, you've got to have your systems in place.
Yep.
And those systems are a software that this is why we talk about the ProServe 360 software, is because in there are work orders that set up clear marching orders for your troops on site.
That's right.
Right. if they know what day they're supposed to be there, what executables need to be done every day, all of that information that's clear to them.
Black and white.
It's black and white.
Yeah.
I can run 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs at a time because my guys know what they need to be doing.
We have a piece of paper for accountability.
Yeah.
This is what you do. This is what you don't do. And it's very clear. So I've written an estimate. I can take that estimate and say, these 2 line items go to this crew. This 1 line item is going to my cleaner. Everyone knows what they're doing. I've got dates that come automatically generated on it. And now when I show up and Jared says he's done, and I say, well, why didn't you paint that wall? You say, well, I didn't know I was supposed to. Pull out your work order.
Right here.
It says paint wall and basement. I'm like, oh, I forgot. Great. So I don't have to pay you and have to, because normally in that situation, if you don't have that work order, it's like, we didn't talk about that. That's going to be $400 extra.
Yeah.
No, we have an agreed upon work order for $2,000 to do this amount of work, right? And so I don't lose that money, and also there's the accountability that we've got a written agreement. So that's right. Like all of the process that we have are for this transition and beyond, right? The work orders, the estimates, how we do invoicing, all of the stuff that we've built into the software is if you want to grow into a bigger company. Now you can utilize it when you're doing labor. That's you can build estimates, send invoices, get paid online, have all that stuff done in our free version of the software. But for guys that are trying to transition and duplicate themselves, our software is pre-built processes. Now, if you join with Alliance with us, and we will teach you give you all the paperwork and show you how to utilize those processes.
Built out 10-step project management process, how to implement that through your software, like all of that.
We give you all that. It's the fast forward 5, 6, 7 years of learning to make that transition for you in 1 year, right? And so for us, the whole software is our process. And so we teach you how to do that. So if you're looking to make this transition, ProServe360.com, get in with the software. It's a really good tool. We've got a free version that's estimates and invoices, but then if you want to do work orders, you go on to our light version. If you want to do you have multiple employees and project managers and start running numbers, we've got our complete version and our unlimited version. So we custom build it around what you need.
That's right.
But
that's right.
All that said, when you're looking for this transition, you have to have your processes in place to be able to duplicate yourself on the job site.
Yeah.
If you want help with that, we are here. We do one-day intensives in Atlanta every once in a while. We got some coming up. Go to ProServeAlliance.com and check out our events. We've got them. They're really the shortcut to success. They're the fast track to success events that in one day we cover exactly how to do all of this stuff.
Well, and if in these transitional spots, if that sounded real familiar to you and kind of hit home, and you want to ask us some questions, feel free. Shoot us an email, hit us up with a phone call, whatever you want. We'd love to chat with you and process kind of where you're at and how to get to the next spot.
That's it. Thank you guys for listening. We'll talk to you next time.
See ya.